virtually anything is a little, I don't know, it's lofty and daunting and awesome, and it suggests that there's some sort of game that we're up to, right? And a lot of times we think about a game, we think of Trivial or Monopoly or gambling or something, but I want you to think in a little bit different terms of what makes a game a game. And everything that I'm going to talk to you about is data-based, but if this goes as planned, I'll reference none of the research. We'll just trust that. So if you think, like, what's a game a game? We know what the early games are, as we say, sports games and kids games. But what makes a game a game? A lot of people say, well, what makes a game is competition. It's like, well, maybe, or winners or losers, or whatever it is. But if we say that, but we change the definition, we go, okay, let's say this. Let's play a game. I'll play a game here. Can you catch? Yeah. All right, check this out. If we can catch 3 times back and forth, we win. We play? Yeah. All right, here we go. This 1. Playing the game, it's beginning. All right, there's 2. Playing the game. Here we go. Now's the pressure, right? Field goal kicker comes out. Number 3. And boom! Who won? Yeah, we did, didn't we? Give him a hand. All right. So what makes a game is this. It's something that we do, that you do, I don't care how old you are, that has a beginning, a middle, an end, and a way to win. What makes a game, it's something you do that has a beginning, a middle, an end, and a way to win. So what falls into that definition, right? Well, we go, okay, sports, easy, football, basketball, chess. For those of you in school, it's your semester, it's your grades. For those of you in relationships, all of a sudden it's not so trivial. Your relationship had a beginning, it's got a middle, it'll have an end somehow. Your life, I'm told, has an end. Freaks me out sometimes. And by all of these, like I said, criteria for what a game is, we decide how do you win. With games that keep obvious score, it's sort of simple. With games that are looser in terms of score, not so easy. Okay, so we say, when my days are done, that game, how am I going to assess it? And in my relationship, am I playing a winning game? And we'll have some different criteria. So the question is this. In anything, we say everybody wants to get better, but nobody really wants to change. Think about that. And when people come to see me all the time, it's like, Doc, I want to be better, I want to have better results, I want to do all this stuff. And I go, okay, what are you doing? They say, I want to do all the stuff I've been doing, I just want to have better results. I said, well, the rules are quite not like that. What happens for people are 2 things. There's 2 reasons people don't win. And one is this. Like you asked the question, if scaling the highest mountain, if reaching your heights is sort of the goal, the purpose, and ultimately going to be reinforcing, why don't people do it? It seems obvious, right? Here's what I want. I want to get into Harvard or Princeton, or I want to be this Olympic athlete, or I want to have this phenomenal relationship. Whatever it is. It seems clear. And they say the one who wants it the most wins, right? Is that true? No. Because if who wanted it the most wins, I would be on our Olympic sprint team. And I'm not fast enough. No, actually, the truth of it is I'd be playing center field for the Minnesota Twins. They seem to have overlooked me. I feel like my time is running short. Hopefully they'll see this talk. I'm fast. Okay, so, but I actually did my own research and development. Because I am, or actually sort of was, afraid of heights. And so if we look at literally and metaphorically scaling those heights, I said, okay, I'm going to take this on. And I have the sphere heights, and I found 2 expert rock climb teachers, and I said, okay, let's go. Well, I didn't really understand what rock climbing was, because I thought, yeah, I have a pretty good grasp of rock, and I was a gymnast, and so I can hang on to things. I said, let's go. Teach me to climb. I'm going to face my fears when I hear this. And I said, okay. And they took me to these places with these 100-foot sheer cliffs. I said, all right, Dean, climb. Well, they don't just climb. You're roped up. It's called being on belay. So it's suicide, but you don't die if you fall. And so there's a reprieve, and you get to have insights. All right, so So for the whole season, because of my fear, you see, I looked at first like I'm being courageous, like, oh, look at him, there's Dr. Dean, he's climbing. And I would climb, I would shimmy up trees growing out of rocks, the whole thing. I was breaking all the climbing rules. They would laugh, and they kept trying to find harder stuff for me, and I refused to fall. And I had this gymnastics background, so not falling and having just crazy strong fingers was serving me, but also disserving me. Remember what I said? Everybody wants to improve. Everybody wants to scale the heights. Nobody really wants to change. And I didn't want to change. I didn't want to fall. And even though there was this rope tied to me, I was really clear. If I fall, this thing is an illusion. And the rope is to make me feel good. I don't quite trust it, even though I watched with a microscope as they fastened it all over the place into me. But my brain of brains, I went, you don't really survive this thing, so you better hang on. Well, finally they had it. And they took me up to this climb. It was called Old Man, because it turned people into one. And I got this climb, we went up, and I watched them scale. I sort of pay attention. I don't care. I know I'm going to hang on no matter what. So I'll be afraid around 80 or 90 feet up, but I'll hang on and go. And we went up this thing, and then there was this overhang, like you go up and like a ceiling. And so I thought, well, that's it. Even I, with my Hulk fingers, and not Hulk body, but Hulk fingers, I can't do this. So finally I thought, I'm going to test this rope system. I'm giving in. So I said, I'm going to test it. Here it is, courage. Lower me down! Which I thought was a bold move. And they yelled up, cackling, you! It was an expletive. Laughingly. And so I fought back a tear, and I said, this is lower me down! And if I had a weapon, I would use it. And they called up, you! Laughing, they're having the best time. I'm 100 feet up against the ceiling, and now I have sewing machine leg, because the thing is running out. I said, what do I do? They said, and I kid you not, launch backwards into space, parallel to the ceiling. Truth, a crack will appear. It gets better. Throw your hand into the crack. Make a fist to stop the falling. And while you're hanging, use your other hand, do a pull-up. It gets easier after that. Lower me down! And you. So finally I realized I'm going to die one way or another. I did exactly as they asked, flew backward into space, really did this, threw my hand in the crack, made a fist, pulled, but because of all my fear and the time and the sweat involved, my hand was like human greasy. And with horror, I watched as my hand pulled out of the crack that was to save me. And boom, it popped loose, and from 100 feet up, I was in free fall. Now, I don't know if you've ever had a falling dream, right? Like some of you had a falling dream and you die at the end or whatever it is. Or I guess if you die in your dream, you're really dead. I don't know whoever recorded that. I'm not sure it's true. But I had that moment. I had a moment of clarity. True. I went, I'm going to die. And it's amazing. I guess your brain works at the speed of light somehow, all that electronic stuff. And so I had a long time to realize I'm going to die. I think I fell 4 feet. It could have been 5. And I had this rope tied around me, but I had 4 feet of death. And then the rope caught my ribs, and I went flying into the cliff, boom! And I lived. And I thought, did it, and conquered everything. And yes, a winner. They said, lower me down. And they said, where are you? I said, I did the thing. They said, you haven't done the thing. And time after time until my hand was hamburger, and finally the hamburger caught, and I did the pull-up, climbed over, ran down the backside trail of the mountain to go kill 2 humans. And did come away with profound metaphorical insights. And it hasn't changed, just the cliff has changed. What happens is I can climb old man now all day, but there's a new old man climb. And every single time, part of me says, lower me down. And the other part hears those voices which say, not you, but go, you live. You are on belay. It just doesn't feel like it. And I came to realize, through all my studies, and all the studies I'm not going to put up here, that there are two things that really stop you from winning, whether it's school, whether it's relationships, whatever it is that's your climb. One is this. It's good old-fashioned Pavlovian and Skinnerian conditioning, and it says there's a signal that comes up. And whatever you experience in this life, I don't know your family of origin, your culture, yourself, your gender, your stuff, whatever you make up, a signal happens, and it says stop. And the difference between champions, people who make it, and normal humans is this. Normal humans, no shame in being one, but it does go like this. They have a signal. And when they hear the signal, it'd be like if you were a bicycle racer and you're going up a hill and your legs started to burn and your body sends you a message. It says, it's time to stop. My leg burning. And most people go, I have a brain's registering it, says coast, turn around, wind at your back, see ya. Champion says, I'm noting this. There's a signal here, but I said I was going to the top. And so, climb on. And for any one of these games, that feeling some people have when you look at somebody and you make eye contact and you go, I know I should say I love you, but I also know what it feels like when I drive away and go, I said I love you. And maybe the limit of your climb is I don't do that. I don't show up so vulnerably. And you're right there and you're getting a signal that says, don't go. Or you're studying and the signal says, tired, should eat Doritos and quit now. But the winner, the champion, says, I know the signal. All right, Doritos and study, but we're staying up. And we go. So you want to win, you got to see the signal, you got to know the signal, and you have to, above all things, know what your original word was, which is, I said I was doing this. I see the signal. Let's see if it makes sense. Am I roped up? Going, or keeping going. And the second one is this. Your results over time, and you've got to come in for this, believe it or not, because oftentimes people think the results are based on circumstances or other competitors or teachers or their bosses, whatever it is. But it goes like this. Your results over time are going to be almost exactly consistent with what you think you are. Not even who you are. Maybe not even with what you've done. It plays like this, if you can imagine. I'll give you an illustration. Some of you are still in high school, you're here. Some of you were in high school, you're here. Some of you have seen this on TV, you're here. Person goes into a classroom, they say, I'm ready to date. I'm ready to date, I'm a dating person. Guy, girl says, I'm going to go, I'm in school now, new semester, let's look around. You walk into the classroom, you go like this, I'm ready to date, let's see what happens here. And you look and you go, well, I'd never go out with that. And they do. And you see somebody else and you go, I could never go out with that. Just moved here from Hollywood, was in that movie, has all this status and steam, whatever it is. I couldn't go out with that. And there's this band or this swath. You go, I could date that. I'm going to go for it. Maybe you can go for the top of your swath. But if you go higher than that, if you ask somebody out that you think is out of your, consistent with what you are, what will happen is you'll get anxiety and you'll muck it up and you'll say stupid stuff and you can last anywhere from 17 hours to possibly 17 days, but it won't last because you're out of your zone and somehow it gets undone. If you go out with something or somebody that you feel, sorry, but that's how it is, and you go, that's beneath me. You won't give it the energy, the time, the love, the attention to nurture it, and just to have that person feel right about being you. You won't feel right about being with him or her. That will also be undone. You go, this is my range, and you'll shoot within it, and it's in all things. I work with tons of people who statistically speaking, they have more runner-up trophies than anyone could have. It's like, no, even statistically, by luck, your opponent should have died over this many competitions. You know, you should have lucked into something here. And then they'll tell me that somehow, some way, they will have misperformed enough to get back to second place or just back to just making the cut. If you're an A student, I'm an A student, you will do what it takes to be that. You say, I'm going to Ivy League school, you will do what it takes to get there. If you say, I'm at this level, I'm a B student, whatever it is, you will perform consistently over time with what you think you are. You can have sort of moments where it shifts, but over time, there you are. You'll either undo or you might overdo, but you'll come back to even, all right? So, I see a clock. Does that say 2 minutes left? All right. Thank you. Let's do this fast. You have to have a vision that's into your DNA. It's got to be cell deep. This is where I'm going, and I'm not fooling. That's number one. So that everything that's consistent with that vision will happen. Everything not doesn't. You have to have your word above all things. Word above feelings. Normal human, feelings above word. Word above feelings, I'm going. I'll notice the signal. I'll make sense of it. Over and out if it's not right. All right? Third, adjust your mirror. Decide what you're willing to be. Get people around you who can see your greatness, not your averageness. And it has to be real. And lastly, the Dalai Lama, who I'm told is a pretty heavy hitter, he said two things. One, surprising. He said it's not enough to pray, which I thought was pretty cool for a spiritual leader. He said, praying's not going to do it. You better get into action. I actually heard him say this. I'm paraphrasing, but he said this. And he said you have to act with confidence. I thought about it. And the Latin for confidence is confidare, which is with faith, which is to move, act, change your stars, trust that you're roped up, and go. And that's it. Thank you very much.